It's time for the second half of round one as groups 3 and 4 take the track in the Ferrari tournament. Welcome back to the 3D Botmaker Diecast Racing League. Here we are with round one, groups 3 and 4 in the Ferrari tournament. Tell me, Tootie, what do you think of this season so far?
Man, I am loving it. We've got fast cars, a beautiful mountain pass to race on. I mean, really, what more could you ask for?
I couldn't agree more. Now, we've got a lot of anticipation surrounding this mystery car.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people in the comments have been trying to guess what it is. Quite a few people think it's the LaFerrari.
That's a good guess.
A Ferrari F1.
That's a nice one, too.
So we all want to know, what is it?
Well, 3D, you know I am an 80s baby.
Okay, so something from the 80s then.
Oh, yeah.
That could be a Testarossa, a GTO.
Nah, I've got something even better.
Whoa, I mean, we've already got the F40 out there.
It's not a duplicate model.
A 308 GTS, a 340.
Nope. This car has special significance to me because I actually got to ride in one when I was a kid.
The Ferrari Mondial?
Close, but not it. Let me present to you the greatest Ferrari of all time, the Ferrari Fiero.
A Fiero? What
Oh,
the?
yeah.
That's a Pontiac.
What you talking about, 3D?
That's not a Ferrari.
Of course it is. It's a Fiero.
This is supposed to be a Ferrari tournament.
Yeah, that's why.
Can I speak to you off air for a minute, please?
What do you mean it's not a Ferrari? My mom's boyfriend Randy had one, and Randy was the
It's
man.
not a Ferrari. You had one job, 2D. Literally, one job. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for the delay. We're going to take a break while we figure all this out. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to the 3D Botmaker Diecast Racing League Ferrari tournament in the 2020 season. We may have had a slight mix-up before the break. The producers have informed me that the show must go on, and it is too late to actually find another Ferrari that is ready to race. So, as much as it pains me to say this, we're going to race the Fiero.
Yes!
No, we are not celebrating that. First up in today's race is Ranveer. He'll be driving in a real Ferrari, the Ferrari 348. He's the third qualifier with a time of 18.946 seconds, and he'll be driving for 3D Botmaker Racing. Up next in another real Italian vehicle is Days Racer Great driving for EJ Motorsports. He's in that beautiful blue Ferrari 458 Italia. Days Racer Great qualified in 6th place. Go ahead, I'm not introducing this one.
Up next, we got my boy Crazy Jimmy driving in the Fiero. He qualified in 11th place, and he's driving for 3D Botmaker Racing.
Why is my name on that car? It should be yours.
Because you paid for it in the auction.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
And our last driver in Group 3 is Po Boy Racing driving in the Ferrari F430 Challenge. He qualified in 14th place, and he's driving for EJ Motorsports.
Just a reminder, the drivers will compete in 4 races. Lane positions will rotate between each race, and points will be awarded for how they finish. We've got Ranveer and Days Racer Great in the front row. I believe I saw some FTEs on that blue Italia, so I'm expecting that one to do pretty well.
Just wait till you see that 2.8-liter 6-cylinder engine kicking on that Fiero.
Crazy Jimmy in the Fiero is actually doing pretty good keeping up with Ranveer in the 348. He's looking for an opportunity pass on the outside.
Hold on, Jimmy.
Jimmy with a crazy move that almost sent him off the mountain. Ranveer with a big lead. He'll take the first race, followed by Crazy Jimmy, Days Racer X, and Po' Boy Racing coming in fourth.
Not too bad for a little Fiero.
Actually, yeah, that was actually impressive for that little underpowered car. But we've still got 3 more races, so who knows what can happen.
This just in, Ranveer has just set a new track time, 17.754 seconds.
Wow, that means he's beat out both the 512M and the F40. Very impressive.
Right here we can see Jimmy getting a little crazy as he gets his front end up on that wall. Luckily, he was able to recover and still took second place.
We've got Days Racer Great in the blue Italia, and next to him is Po' Boy Racing in the black 430 Challenge.
So far, the FTEs on that blue Italia have been a little underwhelming.
Yeah, faster than ever doesn't always mean the car is going to be super fast. There's a lot of other factors at play here.
Crazy Jimmy getting slammed on his driver's side door.
Po' Boy's pulling ahead in that 430 Challenge as he rounds the final turn. He gets a little loose, but he's going to bring it home for his first win.
And there goes Crazy Jimmy picking up his second place finish.
If you look at the points, we actually have a 3-way tie between Ranveer in the yellow 348, Crazy Jimmy in the Fiero, and Po' Boy Racing in the black 430 Challenge.
Days Racer Great has the only car with FTEs, and he is currently trailing with only 4 points.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by that. He was 6th in qualifying. I was expecting him to do a little bit better here.
It's going to be a real uphill challenge for him because he's going to start the last 2 races in the back row.
We've got Po' Boy Racing and Crazy Jimmy leading us down the track. This is the first time Crazy Jimmy has been in the front row. So far, he's falling behind.
Po' Boy Racing riding the middle divider. That slows him down, and there goes Crazy Jimmy.
That mistake back there opened the door wide open for Crazy Jimmy and Ranveer. Crazy Jimmy with a big lead here coming around that last turn. And Crazy Jimmy will take the checkered flag in this race.
You see that, 3D?
Yeah, I saw it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it was a good win.
You bet it was.
It's still not a Ferrari.
Whatever.
It doesn't even have the Ferrari body kit.
It's got a sticker.
And in a surprising turn of events, Crazy Jimmy in the Fiero is now leading in this race among the Ferraris.
Right here, Po' Boy Racing got caught on the mid-lane divider, and that totally slowed him down, opening the door right up for Crazy Jimmy and Ranveer to pass.
Days Racer Great really paying for Po' Boy's mistake there as he had no way to get around him. He finished in 4th. I really don't think he's going to have enough points to make it to round 2 unless something crazy happens on the track.
Crazy Jimmy is in the lead with 11 points. Ranveer has 9, and Po' Boy Racing has 8.
This should be a good matchup right here. Crazy Jimmy in the Fiero versus Ranveer in the Ferrari 348.
I've got my money on the Fiero.
Ranveer is the current track time record holder, so we'll see if Crazy Jimmy has what it takes.
Look at him go.
Crazy Jimmy leading into the first turn. He's got a pretty decent lead here.
That Fiero's got the power.
I'm starting to think that's not the stock engine in that car.
Ranveer is following in second.
Here goes Crazy Jimmy into the last turn. Ranveer following. He's closing the gap right at the finish. Oh my! What a close finish there. Followed by a big wreck. It looks like the Fiero is still in one piece.
Wow.
We're going to have to go to replay to see who won that last race. It was too close to call.
That's what I'm talking about.
Some real excitement on the final race. Here they go. Crazy Jimmy on your left.
Yes.
And Crazy Jimmy,
that's my boy,
in the Fiero wins the last race. That's actually 2 wins for Crazy Jimmy, bringing his total score up to 16.
Listen, all I got to say is, who's laughing now, 3D?
Look, it is not a Ferrari. It should not have that sticker on its hood. But I will admit, Crazy Jimmy's Fiero is kind of growing on me.
A wise man once said, not everybody's path in life leads them to a Ferrari. Some of us have to settle for a Fiero.
You know, that quote sounds like it should be on an inspirational poster or something.
Why not a t-shirt?
Ooh, a merch idea. Hey, Steve. What? I want that Fiero on a shirt ASAP.
Okay. Crazy Jimmy and Ranveer will be advancing on to round 2, where they'll be facing off against Edgar E. and Michael Luck.
We've still got more racing coming up after the break. An Enzo Ferrari, a 355, the FXX, and the Ferrari F355 Spider. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to the 3D Bot Maker Die-Cast Racing League. You're watching the Ferrari tournament. It's time to look at the drivers in our final group of round 1.
Up first, we have Zero Logic driving the Ferrari Enzo. He qualified in 4th place with a time of 18.980 seconds, and he's driving for EJ Motorsports.
Up next is Lee Delbridge driving in the Ferrari 355. He has one of the heavier cars in this race, weighing in at 46.8 grams. He'll be driving for 3D Botmaker Racing.
Driving the high-performance Ferrari FXX is David McNeil. He has one of the lighter cars in this race, weighing under 30 grams, and he was 12th in qualifying, driving for EJ Motorsports.
And finally, somebody call a doctor. It's Dr. Racing driving in the Ferrari F355 Spider. This car weighs 40.7 grams. He was the 13th in qualifying, and he'll be driving for 3D Botmaker Racing.
Nice, so we have FXX and Enzo both in this race.
That's right, the FXX was based on the Enzo. The Enzo being a street legal car, the FXX a track only car.
It should be interesting to see how they both do on this mountain pass.
We have a little team racing going on here. Zero Logic and David McNeil, drivers of the Enzo and the FXX, both driving for EJ Motorsports. Lee Delbridge and Dr. Racing driving for 3D Botmaker Racing.
Lee Delbridge getting sideways in front of that Enzo.
And he opens up a path for David McNeil and Dr. Racing to make the pass. And the first race will go to David McNeil. And the first, a big wreck at the finish. It just hurts seeing that every time, knowing how much those cars are worth.
I hope we've got some good insurance.
David McNeil picks up the first win, followed by Dr. Racing. Lee Delbridge and Zero Logic had the lead coming around that second hairpin, but right here is where things change.
Lee Delbridge trying to block Zero Logic. He gets a little sideways and creates a perfect path for McNeil and Dr. Racing.
Lee Delbridge ends up going from first all the way back to third, with Zero Logic finishing in fourth.
Both back row cars actually finished in front of the front row cars in that race.
Yeah, this track is tight, but as we've seen, there's plenty of room to pass when it's four-car racing.
We've got Delbridge on the right and Dr. Racing on the left, leaving us down in the second race.
Lee Delbridge pulling ahead going into the first hairpin. He's followed by Zero Logic and the Enzo Ferrari.
Delbridge pulling ahead on the middle straight as he goes into the next corner.
Delbridge with a huge lead as he approaches the final turn. He's got no one in his rearview mirror.
I don't think anything can stop him in that car.
Oh!
Except for that wall.
Delbridge driving straight into that divider. It sends him airborne before he's pummeled by the rest of the drivers.
Man, it is brutal out there.
You know, we may be at a new location, but the drivers seem to be the same. They still don't know how to use their brakes.
I'm not sure if Delbridge is conscious after that, but he does pick up the win. Look at that.
Oh, man.
Have you ever seen a Ferrari like that?
You know, that is a first, but I'm sure it's not going to be the last in this Ferrari tournament.
Here comes the doctor to add insult to injury, and then it's just a chain reaction after that.
We've got 2 races to go. Lee Delbridge in the back right is your current leader in points with 7. Dr. Racing and David McNeil in the front row both tied for second with 6 points.
Dr. Racing pulling ahead on the first straight. He's driving in that blue F355 Spider.
Delbridge drafting right behind him. It's a close race going into that second hairpin.
We've got a nice tight group going down the middle straight. Dr. Racing building up his lead.
Here comes Delbridge. He's gaining on him. He's not out of this yet.
We've got contact.
Oh my! And I guess I spoke too soon. Delbridge is out of it. He's actually off the track.
This is just one crazy group of drivers. We've had a crazy wreck every time they've come down to the finish line.
Oh, and look at that.
Oh man, that's not good.
We've got McNeil and Dr. Racing both on their roof. How did that even happen?
I'm not sure. I was distracted by Lee Delbridge going off track. Here's a look at the replay. It looks like Dr. Racing may have blown a tire.
Oh,
whoa.
There it is.
Wow.
It looks like Zero Logic ended up going underneath the FXX.
Yeah.
Here's another look. Yep, right there.
That was crazy.
That DNF is going to hurt Lee Delbridge in the points going into the 4th and final race. Right now, your current leader in points is Dr. Racing in the blue F355 Spider. He has 11. And David McNeil in the red FXX, who has 9.
A poor performance by Zero Logic in the Enzo Ferrari. He only has 5 points. Even if he wins this race right here, I don't think it's going to be enough.
Yeah, he would pretty much need to win this and have everyone else not finish.
Lee Delbridge also in danger. He's going to need to win this race to move on.
It's a tight race to the finish line, and Zero Logic takes the win, followed by Lee Delbridge. But unfortunately, it was too little too late. Zero Logic and Delbridge both tie with 10 points. First place goes to Dr. Racing with 12 points, and David McNeil with 11.
I think that was the first time these guys didn't wreck at the finish line.
Here's a look at our top 5 track times. Ranveer in first place. He has a 17.754 second track time record in that Ferrari 348.
Ranveer is also moving on to round 2.
Here's a look at the bracket for the semifinals. On the left, we have Caden Richards, Mike Donovan, Dr. Racing, and David McNeil. On the right side, we have Edgar E., Michael Luck, Crazy Jimmy, and Ranveer.
That should be some good competitive racing.
Comment below with who you think will make it into the Final 4.
The Final 4. I'm not too sure about the left side of the bracket. I do expect to see the F40 make it through. On the right side, I'm going to go with Edgar E. and my boy, Crazy Jimmy, in that fast Fiero.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that the Ferrari tournament isn't won by a Pontiac.
Ferrari.
It's not. You know what? We hope you've enjoyed this broadcast of the 3D Bot Maker Diecast Racing League. If you'd like a chance to be a driver in a future event, come on over to the Facebook group.
And while you're at it, support the channel with some sweet Racing League merch.
The links are in the description below. Until next time, I'm 3D Bot Maker.
I'm 2D.
And we'll see you on the track.